can lawyers better serve clients with ADHD? I created this video primarily for lawyers, but I think many of these tips are applicable to anyone in client-oriented service professions who want to improve communication and maximize satisfaction for those clients who share with you that they have ADHD. Of course, not everyone who has ADHD will elect to bring it up. But in my experience, those who do, whether it's during the very first meeting or after they've worked with you for a while and you've established trust, are doing so because there's an opportunity to improve the way you share information with them. And a client who feels supported and understood is usually a happier client. So with that said, here are a few tips and strategies that I like to utilize with my clients who have ADHD, especially in light of the fact that my default or preferred communication style, like that of many lawyers, can be challenging for them otherwise. So first, use visual aids. Find ways to incorporate charts, graphs, and images to explain complex concepts visually. PowerPoint has been a godsend in helping clients understand how convoluted stock purchase transactions will work, or how the different legal entities of a single enterprise relate to each other. Visual aids are so effective that I regularly use this strategy for all my clients. Second, highlight key information. This goes beyond just using boldface, italics, and underlining. Emails that use bullet points, headings, and color coding to draw attention to crucial details can make a wall of text manageable for the recipient, and it helps to ensure that critical information will actually be seen, read, and understood. Third, summarize and repeat. Provide a brief summary at the beginning and end of your communications. Repeating key points can reinforce understanding, and it ensures that your essential message will be received. Number 4, set clear expectations. When you need certain information, documents, or sign-offs from your client in order to proceed with the project, clearly outline exactly what actions are required and provide deadlines. Put this part in boldface font or politely encourage your client to write it down if you're on the phone with them or on Zoom. Use concise language to avoid ambiguity. But also, be mindful of your tone and pay attention to social cues. Otherwise, you risk coming off as either authoritarian or condescending, neither of which is appropriate or productive. Number 5, use technology. Building on the last tip, if you utilize tools like reminder apps, shared calendars, and project management software to keep track of tasks and deadlines, this can be a gentler way to set expectations and stick to schedules. If your client is successfully using a specific app or other technology to help manage her ADHD, ideally, you can help her stick with that. Number 6, interactive sessions. Now, I know this can be painful for a lot of us in the introverted professions like law or accounting, but try to engage in more interactive face-to-face meetings or video calls, especially if your client explicitly tells you that this is how they prefer to communicate. Visual cues and real-time interaction can help maintain focus as long as the Zoom doesn't drag on for too long. 7, frequent check-ins. Again, building on the last tip, clients with ADHD will often get more out of regularly scheduled short check-in calls or meetings to review progress, clarify doubts, and adjust plans than doing a single marathon length call less often. So think you do a 15-minute check-in every Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. rather than doing a single hour-long Zoom that happens sometime during the first week of each month. Number 8, chunking information. Break down big tasks and mounds of information into smaller, manageable segments. This approach can make it easier for your client to process and actually complete tasks. Labels, lists, paragraphs, and pauses can all help delineate the informational chunks or discrete steps of a task. Number 9, provide written follow-ups. After meetings or calls, send a concise written summary of what was discussed and the next steps. Concise being the operative word here. If you need to be more detailed in your written summary, whether to ensure adequate corporate records or for your own CY purposes, you can create a separate memo to file that's more thorough. And finally, number 10, ask for feedback. We're in a service profession. If your client has told you that they have ADHD, it's because they want to help you help them. So ask your client how they prefer to receive information and adjust your methods based on their feedback on an ongoing basis. All right, so let me build on my final tip to close this out. These tips are based on my personal experience and what I've been told is helpful and effective. But if you have ADHD and you prefer other approaches or you have additional suggestions, please share them in the comments. And more importantly, you should feel comfortable sharing this input with all of your advisors as well. The good ones will want to make these types of adjustments so that they can better serve you and help you meet your goals. All right, business owners. If you have ADHD, what can your lawyer do to serve you more effectively? Do you disagree with any of these tips? And if so, what approaches would you prefer?